Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I have something really cool to show you. This right here is Sequential Discovery board burr box. There we go. I thought it'd be a good one to do, put up this week with Juno's new mitten arriving in people's houses this week. I know I'll be getting mine. And oops, there we go. So this is Juno, and it came out a few years ago. I guess it was a little bit on the pricier side at the time, even though I think prices have increased since then. This is the second in the series of Sequential Discovery, or Disguised Burrs, I guess was actually what it's called, the Disguised Burr series. First there was SDBBB, which was Sequential Discovery Burr Box, and then came this one. And then you've seen me do the third one before that came after this, which is Sequential Discovery Burr Box Master. Something like that, yeah. Anyways, and since then SDCB's come out, which I've covered, the Sequential Discovery Cube Box. And what's the same about all of them is that they all have a box in them. SDBBM had more, obviously. That's why it was so expensive. And this one here is kind of like more like SDCB in the amount of moves and tools, things like that. This one also has the same display property as SDCB, whereas it doesn't really look like anything but what it is. SDCB was a little bit big for its size, but this one right here just looks like one of Juno's board burrs. So, you know, if you had it and had a friend over and they thought you just had I'm going to stop saying it. They would be surprised that this was an SD. So how does it play? How do we solve it, right? Well, there's one piece moving already, so there's a good indicator, because if you move that, these, nothing's moving. Investigation, right? You always want to look at burrs to see where the cracks are, because you know a piece is going to have to move through that, past that. But if you look, this piece here doesn't have a seam. Like if you look here, like I can get, oh yeah, they're separate. That no, but these, yes. This side, yes. So this is likely, not this one is likely our box. A big box, obviously. So this one's a little bit more assembly than SD, assembly and disassembly, which actually makes it kind of tricky compared to the others, because putting it back together, I let it sit apart way too long. And it's been a while since I've solved it, so unlike a lot of my solves where I'm like practiced up, we're going to be approaching this one not fresh, but definitely not memorized. So let's get into it. We've already sussed out some clues here. What I was going to say, though, with this being solid, it looks like, and these having gaps here, they're not necessarily gaps to let this through. They might not be connected pieces, was my original thought. And we'll see here in a second. But this piece moves. So once we move this, we got to find what it releases. This we won't even mess with. Look at that. That thing's sealed. So, oh, there we go. Now, if you notice, that moved, but this didn't. They're separate, and that's where the likeness to burrs really starts to shift. This is probably one of my favorite parts of the puzzle. This is a cool little, it's like its own little puzzle, right? You go up one, which allows it to shift over, but you can't get it out yet. You have to go back in, it'll shift over one, it's still stuck, go back out, and now it comes out. And that's because we have this. We have a solid line going through. We have up, dip, up, regular line, and then dipping down. So as it passes through what's essentially gates here, you have this one here with more of a dip, and then you have this one here moving and causing a blocker there. It's almost kind of like a packing puzzle or something cool. Its own little thing. So to get it back in, see how it doesn't, see it's got to move there. It's got to let it in and go back in. So let's go ahead and get that out. That's actually going to be technically our first tool. And when this is out, nothing else has opened up for us other than getting that piece out. But if you see, there's something, and if you turn it upside down, it's not doing anything. but you see there's a magnet on this piece. Connects it right here, but it can also be used just for, and I'm doing this through the camera, so it's kind of hard. Use gravity here, pull it out. Now we've released some kind of locking mechanism. So that should allow something to happen. These seem looser, but we can also shift these now down a bit. It kind of gives you a peek of things to come. Yeah, like this thing here, what's that? But because it's shifted down now, look at that. This slides right out. It was with a locking mechanism here. It was in this indentation here and blocked by this piece. Now, we can actually free the tool, see? So now we have this magnetic tool. And if you look down this hole, you'll see there's a pin there. This fits it perfectly. So if you push it, you can pass that lock. And you'll bring it all the way to the outside here, and that comes out. Now, you have just this piece, which just kind of came off on its own. It was on this track locked in, and then through here, locking the burr as well. And then this piece just comes right off. So what you have left now is this guy. And this actually took a little bit more effort looking back on it than it probably should have. This is pretty obvious. You put this in and that pops out. And this is a lock. Like this is gonna lock these two halves, but it's not enough to unlock it. There's still things unused, like this guy here. So we wanna push it in. And see what that does? That brings this piece out. And this is what took me a minute to figure out. But what you want to do here, and this is gonna, I'm gonna have to look over the camera here, so hopefully I capture it. You can manipulate this piece up and down. See? With the tool. And if you do it just right, oh, upside down also. Pull down. There you go. It opens. So what we had there, oh, and here's our little prize, the Juno emblem. Here's our little goblet. And with this mechanism, so this is kind of cool. First off, let's just get into this real fast. There's a lock here. That's what the lock we just undid was, with this and this. Basically what we're doing is we're pushing in the piece out so it's available and then pulling down, pulling that lock open. And it's kind of like a book slash box, a little opening. So this is, it doesn't open all the way either. And this is the prize. So shutting it, it doesn't want to just shut. I think you have to use the mechanism again to shut it. So you push this in, which brings this tab out. Use this stick to push it down. It all shuts and it's locked now. This piece matches magnets. So you have that. And then it's, like I said, it's more assembly, disassembly than SD. Because you're looking at these pieces now and you're wondering, excuse me, what in the heck? So I do remember that, you know, all the mechanisms happened on the top here, the sliding bit and everything. That this thing was basically not used. And what side was it on? See, that's the tricky. I think it's probably on this side. There we go. And then the key here was to get this guy. Now, this guy's easy enough because there's magnets right here. You know exactly where it goes. It's got its own little holder thing there. And then, yeah, we should be going back to where the pin... Oh, nope, it's upside down, see? Because the pin goes under this hole. We had to push it in to get everything back together. So we push that. And you see it pop up there. Now we got these bits, and we have 3 pieces still. So that's going to require 2 here, and then this one's final. So we don't need this anymore. We can put that back, I think. Just felt a little tight. Let's see here. Yeah, that's correct. Oh, that's fine now. Let's go ahead. This will go second, and then this one goes first, I believe. It goes on the rail. So yeah, this one actually, so we pulled it together too soon because we need to, there is actually a step here where we just want one so that this big long piece can get in like that. There we go. Now we put this piece in. There we go. We're gonna skip the track. There we go, twice. Okay. Then we're going to now stick this piece in. And now we put this guy in, and it's over here where that fits. So we get it down there, and now shift back, and it locks that in place. Now that piece now locks it from shifting laterally, and now the only piece that moves is this one. So we put this piece back here, and then we go through the gating process. It just slides right in. You don't have to do all the moves. And you have an assembled SDBBB. Now, thoughts on this? First off, there's only 40 of these out there, which surprised me. Maybe at the time, a few years back, you know, the game was a bit different. Maybe Juno didn't think there was a lot of people that were going to pay that much. I couldn't tell you. This looks a lot like, I think it's Groove Board Burr 6. So this style he's adopted before, the American Rock Maple, and then this mahogany here, you know, is nice. It doesn't use as many woods as a lot of his other ones. This is more along the lines of a ring case, where it's the American Rock Maple. But it still looks really good for the part. These things are silly expensive nowadays. I know a little bit about a year ago, there was a couple of these that popped up, and they went about $1,800. That's kind of the going rate on a old Juno at this point, like something you can't get anymore. Is going to be between $1,500 and $2,000 kind of. I've definitely seen those kind of numbers with all of them. I paid $1,700 almost for SDBBM. And so this one here, but the thing is it's not about money always, you know. Sometimes people, you know, they would much rather just have the puzzle than the money, you know. So it happens with the numbers when they get down to like 40. Now, the creators are starting to catch on. You know, we have Sundial recently, which, here, I'll give you guys a peek. Sundial here, even though I'm about to show you something that looks just outrageous, there's 400 of these being made, you know. I'm already seeing these pop up in auctions. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do a review on it. This is what I traded for. I'm still on the list and I'm gonna buy one. I've already paid for it. So it's like, I couldn't believe it that it was already being offered around. So of course I grabbed it because I wanted to solve it. I didn't want to wait another month or two. But yeah, and we're getting something like this. It's made in 400 copies. And it's expensive, $750. But not expensive for what it is. It's wonderful price for what it is. It's beautiful. It does a lot of cool stuff we'll get into sometime. But it's expensive for a lot of people to just drop $750 like that. That's kind of my point with that. So when you have puzzles like this, you know, when people are spending that kind of money, you know, it's like I said, it's going to be more about the puzzle. So when you have numbers that are 10 times lower than this, you'll always have people willing to give one or two of those up for one of these. And it's a weird market. It's all more about perceived value than real value. But anyways, I've gone off on a tangent. This is a pretty cool puzzle. Juno, you know, I'm looking forward to Mitten. It's coming out this week. That's why I wanted to do this. I've been sitting on this one for a hot minute. I have some other Juno stuff this week too, popping up, Big Ben, and some things. I might get my hands on a quartet, who knows. So if I do, definitely going to be showing those. I know I don't put up a lot of videos, and I don't have like a schedule. It's more really about sharing with people the stuff I don't think that they're going to be able to find a video on very easily. So they come to me, they see this, and then they get a taste of it. I get a lot of people asking to see like angel box solve videos and slam car and stuff, so that they just, you know, can get over trying to pay 12 grand for one, you know, because in the end it's wood, right? It's wood with some clever ideas behind it, sometimes ingenious ideas and some great handiwork, but it's not, you know, it's not the, what is that? The seal of the heavenly emperor, whatever. It's not like a jade thing that makes you own China, right? Still in the end. And I'm sure some of these creators are just really clever, like Juno here, and has the ability to think through an idea and craft it then into a real thing, and multiple times even, so that they can share and sell it to people. They probably are just tickled with the fact that people make such a big deal out of these, you know, because they can kind of make whatever they want in this sphere. So this is a Juno SDBBB. Ratings on it. Well, I mean, my ratings on this, it's not going to be as strong as SDCB. He's come a lot longer way with his mechs and everything. Once you understand the assembly, it's very fast, actually. Yeah, I made it look kind of easy, probably, but it is very tricky to remember and then solve. I know someone actually made a burr tools file for this. I chuckle, even though I used it, so don't even think that I'm judging there. I used it when I had this apart for like a month, and I was trying to remember how to put it back together. But then even again, like a month later, here I am doing it, and it's not that difficult. It's a nice procedural solve. There's some cool tricks that are like independent puzzles of their own. That last step is kind of a doozy to figure out, moving and wiggling that. But yeah, other than that, you know, it's going to have less steps than a lot of the others, a lot less parts. I consider really only to have like one tool. You got to use the pin off the other piece, but, you know, you could probably push, you know, that pin. Well, no, you couldn't push it with anything else because you didn't have anything else yet. But the magnet on it, I guess, on that one piece to pull the tool out, you needed that. So 2 tools, you know. But then again, this is like 3 to 4 years old. So, you know, people, they grow and grow and invent. And it's really amazing all that was actually done with something and kept it the look like this, you know. This looks like just a normal burr. It's very disguised in that sense. So for that, I'm going to give this one an 82%. I think it's great. I think that it's, though, the genesis of something rather than like a culmination of a lot of things. It's the start of like the idea really kicking off for Junichi. So hey guys, pleasure to share again. We'll be putting up some more videos soon, doing some different things. So come by, check it out, keep an eye on things, keep the notifications going, and I'll see you next time. Peace.